When I got married, I was 27 years old. I was in love with nature, the sea, photography, writing, and books. The man I married was 28, responsible, hardworking, and by all standards, a good man. But over the next 11 years, something quiet, something invisible, slowly changed me. Without realizing it, I became a woman who felt cold, emotionally distant. And the dangerous part is, this kind of change happens silently. Maybe some of you watching this right now, men or women, are already inside the same story. Maybe your joy faded. Maybe your emotions became suppressed. Maybe one day you looked at yourself and thought, when did I become this person? My story is not shocking, it's not scandalous, and maybe that's exactly why it matters. Because it's ordinary. And ordinary stories are the ones that slowly happen in millions of lives, without anyone noticing. Maybe this video becomes the moment you decide to change everything. My husband was not a cruel man. He wasn't abusive. He wasn't unfaithful. He worked hard. And I didn't even have to work, but I wanted to. I had worked in hospitals before. My university education was related, and working made our life easier too. But something very small and almost invisible started happening on holidays or during trips, whenever we went into nature. Sometimes the flowers, the clouds, or just a beautiful moment would completely capture me, and I would take out my phone to save that moment. It made me happy. But I slowly noticed something. Every time I took out my phone to capture a scene, he would suddenly walk faster. Not that he didn't wait, but he would deliberately move faster, so I had to rush, feel stressed, or simply give up taking the photo. At first, I tried to explain. I told him, just like making barbecue and sitting under a tree is relaxing for you, capturing moments, even with a simple phone, makes me feel good. But his response was always the same, a small smirk and a look that said, be reasonable. This repeated again and again until one day, I caught myself taking my phone out of my bag to photograph the clouds and suddenly telling myself, this is stupid, just hurry up, lay the mat, cook, eat, and let the trip finish. And that moment shocked me because I realized, after years of small humiliations over something so simple, I had started to believe my own joy was stupid, and now, it wasn't him stopping me anymore. It was me. And this was only one example, just one, among many small and big, joyful parts of me that slowly started to disappear. Not because of violence, not because of betrayal, but because of coldness and indifference. During the first few years, I noticed something else. Whenever I decided to cook a new meal, something I had never cooked before, I would wake up excited, go buy the ingredients myself, and from the afternoon, I would text him, tonight I'm making something new. I can't wait for you to come home. Sometimes I would set the table nicely, light candles, decorate the food. I was not a professional cook, and I wasn't a lifelong housewife who knew how to make everything perfectly. I was simply trying, with all my heart, to keep life from becoming repetitive. But when he came home, often the first thing he said was, today was exhausting. I wish dinner was another night. I just need a shower and rest. And even on better days, if he didn't say it at the door, at the table he would start pointing out every little problem in the food, until I would either cry or feel completely empty after all the effort and excitement I had put into that night. And slowly, the same thing happened again. Every time I wanted to prepare a beautiful dinner or create a special evening, a voice inside me would say, what's the point? What's the value of all this effort when it ends in indifference? What's the point of trying when there's no appreciation, only criticism? And little by little, I stopped trying. I was a warm woman, an emotional woman. Hugging, kissing, saying I love you was natural for me. But hearing I love you back slowly became a dream. During the first 5 years of our marriage, I kept reminding him, do you want to tell me you love me too? Do you want to kiss me sometimes? Do you want to tell me I look beautiful? But the answer was always the same, a look filled with judgment, as if saying, how silly you are. How can these small things matter so much to you? and lips that never moved to say those simple words. Sometimes I told myself, stop saying I love you. Stop giving affection to someone who doesn't give it back. But then I would see how hard he worked, how much effort he put into life. Even though I worked too, and our life was built by both of us. Still, sometimes out of need, sometimes simply because of who I was. I found myself hugging him, thanking him, still saying I love you, and inside I would think, hearing I love you is beautiful. I need to hear it, but I don't. My heart is already hurt, so why should I do the same to him? Maybe he needs love too. Maybe his pride just doesn't let him say it. So I kept showing affection, not only because I didn't want his heart to become wounded like mine, but because I simply couldn't become a cold person. Maybe I was naive, maybe even foolish, but this was me, and being cold was never in my nature. Of course, sometimes I thought about divorce, but then I would ask myself, what reason would I give to family on that or to a court? Should I say, he doesn't say I love you? He doesn't care about my joy. And honestly, sometimes I even laughed at myself. Divorce usually happens because of betrayal, addiction, sexual problems, or serious problems in a relationship. Not because someone doesn't say I love you or doesn't show affection. Who asks for divorce because her husband never holds her hand or looks into her eyes to laugh together? So I told myself, these thoughts aren't real, forget them, stop being a child. So I decided to be logical, and like many women, I decided to have a child. Even though for 5 years I had looked at the dream of motherhood from a distance, telling myself, how can I handle both, a husband and a child, when I don't even receive love myself? How can I bring a child into this world and give him love when I feel so empty? But in the end, I gave in, and right at the beginning of the COVID pandemic, I found out I was pregnant. I was considered a lucky woman. I had a job, a husband who worked and provided. Our life had normal ups and downs. Nothing truly serious had happened. Until one night, when I was 8 months pregnant, my belly big and heavy, I told him, I really feel like eating bread, cheese, and olives right now. He laughed and said, oh God, those ridiculous cravings pregnant women talk about. I'm not in the mood for this nonsense. You should just sleep. It was past midnight, and in that moment, I felt like I had to do whatever it took to eat that food. Maybe it was hormones, maybe something else, but we didn't have olives at home. So I got dressed, got into the car, and drove to the market. And on the way there, on the way back, and even while eating those bites, my tears wouldn't stop. In my mind, I imagined my husband sitting next to me, making bites for me, making me laugh, laughing about how big my belly had become. Teasing the girl who has always cared about her body and her style, putting his ear on my belly and saying, your son is as hungry as you are, and he's excited about this delicious food. In my imagination, I was eating the best meal of my life, but reality was different. I was alone, in the kitchen, crying, feeling a deep coldness inside me, taking bite after bite and tasting nothing at all. My pregnancy ended. And because of COVID, I spent the first 10 days after childbirth almost completely alone, only with my mother, without help from anyone else. 1 year passed, and every time our child reached a new stage in his life, I wanted us to feel excited together, to laugh together, to film those moments, to take photos together. But my husband kept burying himself in work. Every night he came home tired, sometimes for months. He was irritated, picking fights, or simply distant. Even though I kept asking him to be careful at work, he made decisions that caused serious problems, and a large part of our money was lost trying to fix them. We almost went bankrupt, and because he knew he had made mistakes, sometimes he wouldn't talk to me or our child for nights. And in the deepest loneliness, I tried to give all my love to my son, so he wouldn't feel that emptiness. And still, the mocking of my joy continued. My maternity leave ended, and I went back to work at the hospital. 3 months passed, and I found out I was pregnant again. This time, it wasn't planned, and suddenly, anger, deep loneliness, and memories of past years started crushing me. But in the end, I decided to bring my second son into this world too, and continue. But this time, I couldn't escape postpartum depression. It caught me in its deepest form. I became anxious, irritable. I felt like I was losing. I tried everything just to not stay at home, to go back to work. But reality was different. I was now a mother of 2 children, and the responsibility was heavy. While fighting depression every day, barely surviving, I finally thought, maybe I need help. So I went to therapy. I attended several counseling sessions, and finally, following my therapist's advice, I left my job. Everything looked fine, but nothing was fine, and I couldn't explain to anyone what was happening inside me. I had become a woman with suppressed feelings, and 2 little boys depending on her. If I ever talked about divorce, I knew I would face judgment and even mockery, and honestly, I didn't even have the courage. Because of the children, because of financial fears, because of raising them alone, and because of 1,000 reasons that had slowly taken away my confidence and my self-worth over all these years, from family struggles to the silent suppression inside my marriage. 8 years passed inside a house that looked warm, but a relationship that felt empty, living with a man who works hard, who is capable, who loves his children. Even if he doesn't know how to show affection or kiss them, he still plays with them. So no, life was not horrible, but it wasn't sweet either. Whenever the children and I tried to laugh, to be happy, he would suddenly act busy, or refuse to smile, or remind us that we had to wake up early, making us feel guilty for enjoying a simple moment. We slowly fixed our financial problems, and after several therapy sessions on even though they weren't enough, I finally fought my way out of depression. And because of the difficult situation in our country, with 2 children and a man who had slowly made me believe that simple desires, like waiting for a hug or longing for affection, were unimportant, we decided to migrate, searching for a better life, a happiness built not only on stability, but on joy and intimacy. And now, after 11 years, it is me speaking to you. I am not divorced. I am not depressed. I am not sick. I am not taking medication. I am simply trying to live. Sometimes, when my little boys, 3 and 5 years old, hug me or excitedly tell me, "Mom, you look so beautiful today," I feel like I own the whole world, and yet, the longing to hear those words from my husband has lived quietly inside me for 11 years. My children see a mother who, through all these years, has never truly been loved. They don't fully understand why, but she keeps going. Neither I nor my husband ever officially moved toward divorce. We simply kept living. I love my children. Sometimes, like all mothers, I lose patience and raise my voice. And in those moments, my husband calls me nervous or unstable. But in 99% of the time, all I try to do is hug my children, show them love, and keep them happy. Even when their father turns off the music in the middle of our joy, or refuses to eat the simple snacks we bought for a small celebration, and when we laugh together, he presses his lips tightly, as if he must stop himself from laughing with us. I am not a brave woman, and I am not a foolish woman either. I am simply a human, a real human being, caught in a repeating cycle. I don't even feel like a victim, but I also don't have enough confidence or enough convincing reasons to choose divorce. I know whoever I meet in life will also come with problems that I must learn to live with. So I chose to live with the problems of the father of my children. But inside the life I have now, I try my best to at least provide the minimum standards for my children. And honestly, I think many of you are just like me. Whether you are divorced or still single or still trying to hold a life together, I am getting close to 39 years old, and destroying everything now is no longer something I can accept. I shared this story only because maybe someone watching this is still at a point where it's not too late to step out of this cycle, while they still feel joy seeing flowers or clouds, while their eyes still close when their favorite music plays, while their fingers still move with the rhythm before someone convinces them that feeling joy is something stupid. I am a human, I am a woman, I am a mother, just like you, full of doubts, but still full of the desire to live. If you have something to say, write to me. I truly read your messages with all my heart. Here in Motive Code, we share real-life stories, stories that can inspire us and help us build lives that are deeper and better.